All right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cuck Show. The Cuckheads, as it were.
Crikey, Crikey
Right
Cameron.
into it. Crikey Cameron. Yep. I'm your host, John of Thought, here with my boy Marco Rubio. Is it? I believe.
I was trying to think of a Marco Rubio line, but
he drinks a lot of water.
What was that one line he repeated like 4 times in the debate?
Oh yeah, what was it? I used it in my video. It
but
was
you see here, thing about this
what
is
was
like,
it?
wait, like
No, what was it?
something about Obama.
It was like, it was like Obama did.
You can't undermine.
Shingles. I don't know.
Shingles.
I'll have to check. Shingles virus is already inside you.
Oh God.
If you've had chicken pox, have you seen those?
If you have mesothelioma, you may be entitled to
If you've had
compensation.
I don't know how to say that word.
Mesothelioma.
Yeah, that. There we go.
Well, welcome everybody to Blockheads episode 2.
Yeah, I should have let you introduce it. I mean, you're more the host. I'm kind of the memer in the corner.
You
is
made
what I
the
like to regard
memer in the
myself.
corner. That's a great visual. Yeah. I like that.
Pretty much.
I just imagine you going all full neckbeard mode. You know,
Well, I'm growing out my neck beard right now.
Just like typing away at your, like typing.
Yeah, with my can of Mountain Dew and my fedora at my side.
Oh yeah,
There's
Baja
a kid
Blast.
at my.
Baja
There's a
Blast,
kid.
of course, you know.
What?
You've never heard of Baja Blast Mountain Dew?
No. What are you talking about?
It's a flavor of Mountain Dew. It's like
Oh, is
Baja
it?
Blast
I've never had
Mountain
Mountain
Dew and extra spicy nacho cheese Doritos. That's like the quintessential
Oh yeah,
combination.
I know about the Doritos. Trust me. But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
no, there's a kid in my class who he always wore a fedora and a trench coat to school every day, and he would just sit at the back of my math class and read anime. It was
Read anime?
He's quite the character. Yeah.
Manga. You're thinking of
Read
manga.
the animes. Yeah, that's the word I was thinking of. I just wasn't sure how to pronounce it.
Manga.
I'm not a weeb. So I don't know these things.
How you been doing? We got a great
doing
show ahead,
pretty
I
good.
guess, or something. Anyway, whatever.
I don't
nobody
know,
cares.
Maybe. I mean,
How you been?
Nobody cares about the formalities, Alex.
Yeah.
They're here for the laughs,
For the memes.
chuckle factory.
Hey,
the laughapalooza that awaits them. You know?
Exactly. We
That's
did our
what this
first
whole show
episode
is.
last week, and we uploaded
We
it.
did, we
got-
did, and we actually now I just realized this show might come as a surprise to some people because we said in the previous episode that these were going to be every other week, and then like right after we stopped recording that, we were like, hey, maybe it'd be a lot easier if we just did this every week instead, because we talk a lot all the time, like just in Skype and stuff, so we figured, well, we might as well just make this more of a regular thing, and that's kind of what we're going to start doing now.
Yeah, it's really not that that hard to do.
It's not that hard. One thing you might notice is that I sound a little bit, hopefully a little bit better. Last time it sounded like I was speaking through a gas mask the entire time, and that would be because I was.
That bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad actually. AKP noticed it. That means it's pretty bad.
Yeah, well.
I respect him and his opinion, so.
I thought it's fine enough to get the point across. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, it sounded like I was on the phone.
Yeah.
Which technically I was. I mean, we are.
In a sense, you were, yeah.
I mean, my mistake. No, we're in Guam, and it's just we're sitting right next to each other as usual.
Right, but sometimes you just have to like step out of the room, and
exactly. Sometimes I'll just shout from the hallway.
That was just for most of the show.
That's what I did the entirety of the show. I had to rock my child to sleep, and I couldn't do that in the room we were recording in because the room we were recording in has too many drugs and heroin needles that I can't let my child get too close.
Oh yeah, they're just strewn all about the floor.
Yeah, we hang them up like Christmas lights.
I just got one stuck in my foot. Well, there goes another 6 months of having the AIDS. As the kiddies would say. It's actually funny because like we just started. I have health this semester, and we just started the lovely topic of sexually transmitted diseses. So
it gets worse.
we saw some pictures of gonorrhea. Oh, and we get to see a live birth, so that's gonna be fun.
I had to watch that. When I was we saw it in 8th grade actually. We were younger. They're like, hey,
so you were scarred at an earlier age.
Yeah. But luckily now I'm numb to like everything that you would think is kind of jarring to look at, like that with a combination of Filthy Frank's videos. Like I'm good. Like I don't get fazed by anything anymore.
Ravioli. What's in the pocket hole?
What's in the pocket hole? Yes. I haven't seen a lot of his most recent stuff, actually. I need to catch up on some Filthy Frank.
It's actually going to be pretty interesting because, like, I'm at the point where I'm so jaded that, honestly, I don't think I'm even gonna be fazed that much by seeing a live birth.
No, you won't.
Like,
it's not that bad, honestly. I bet we could probably search the exact video up on YouTube and find it right now.
Probably could. I mean, they'd probably have it up because, like, health and live birth.
I'm typing it up as well.
I'm putting up the video in the. Oh, that is actually a live birth.
Can you imagine if we just, like, over us talking, it's just a live birth that you just stick up in front of the footage for like 20 minutes or whatever. Oh my god.
Birth video.
That would be great.
Oh, that is actually a birth.
I'm not watching it.
Holy, that is a lot of blood. Okay. Anyway.
Well, that's a little preview for what you're gonna get later this semester.
Anyway. Huh, interesting. I mean, yeah, I get
Stingray.
It's for, like, educational purposes. So.
Stingray gives live birth. It's only 2 minutes. We can stick that up on screen.
No, don't worry about it, guys. We're not gonna put a live birth on the screen.
You know that if they weren't looking at the screen, they are now. You know, they all went to
yeah. We're not gonna put a live birth up on the screen.
That says a lot about us. They don't know.
Yet, you know.
Yes.
Anyway.
It's gonna pop up at a random point in the.
Yeah, it's gonna be just like a jump scare.
I'm not gonna tell anybody.
At some point, we're just gonna have like 10 seconds of silence and then just a jump scare. Ah! For 3 seconds.
That'd be hilarious.
No, we just run out of stuff to talk about, and then the rest of the video is just a live birth.
We should just do that. We talk for 10 minutes or whatever, and then the rest of the video is just literally.
Oh yeah, like 50 minutes, just like a woman going into labor, having contractions and everything.
Yeah.
It'll be lovely.
Fantastic. Our viewers would double.
Yeah.
Our ratings, I guess I should say.
Ratings. We actually got really. I was surprised by how.
We got some pretty high ratings. I was really surprised.
Yeah.
Higher than me on a Friday night. I tell you what.
Hey-o.
Let me check.
We got like 600 views on the first episode.
Wait, really? Last time I checked was like 400. Oh my god, yeah, 648 views.
Yeah, and we got like 160 subscribers, so.
We have 0 dislikes. That's pretty good.
Oh, all right.
We have a 100% approval rating, so.
All right, so nobody objects to what we're saying.
And we have 69 comments as well. This couldn't be more fitting. I don't know.
Oh my god.
I don't know what else I could ask.
It's perfect. It's too perfect even. And we didn't even like advertise it that much over Instagram.
No, we didn't. None of us have advertised it on our channel yet. Once we do that, it's gonna boost again.
Yeah.
That'll be great. I'm just gonna start putting it in the description of my videos. I'm like, yeah, why not? You know.
Yeah.
But and hopefully this one also will have an intro to it.
Oh yeah. No, dude, I already got like all the templates set up. I got bored.
All right.
So, let's go. I literally have the footage up set like already to like an hour and a half. So there's already like an hour and a half of background footage.
Yeah.
Just you know, I'm just guesstimating.
Mm-hmm. Or just keep it in that hour and a half, and then if we record over it, then it just gets cut off, and if we record under it, then it's just the footage. We can just do that.
We just put in more. Then we just put in the audio of the live birth. At that point.
Exactly. What if instead of the jazz music, we had the live birth audio in the background of us talking?
And like when the audio ends for like one birth, we just start another one up.
We start another one. Or it starts playing in reverse. I kind of want to do this, like, actually.
Oh my god.
I bet we could get away with it. You know we could with our viewers. Yeah, they wouldn't care. It'd be fine.
Oh yeah, so Planned Parenthood. Speaking of live births, Planned Parenthood renewed our sponsorship for this episode.
Surprisingly enough, they did. Yeah, we told them we were pro-abortion, and they were like, "Well,
hey man, that's pretty good."
Hey, that's pretty good. I can't do it. I can't do that very well, but
I can't do it either.
I've got the Chrome extension that can do it, but I'd have to unplug my headphones. And if I unplug my headphones, I can't trust what you're gonna say. So
just racial slurs.
As usual.
Many of them.
Classic Alex.
Uh-huh.
He does this when he goes to sleep, by the way. Don't ask how I know that.
Oh yeah, it's just like in my sleep. Yeah, that is a true statement.
He'll just get up and start yelling, Alex is and then just the rest. You can assume. Yeah, but yeah.
Yep. So we got a few things.
What do we got on the menu today, my boy?
I actually had a few things we wanted to talk about. Have you heard about the most recent developments in the "He Will Not Divide Us" thing?
No, but every time I hear about that, my heart just physically smiles. It's
okay, great. So what's the last you heard about it?
Actually, I haven't been paying that much attention to it. The last I heard about it was when I told you that it was back up in, New Mexico, I think?
Yeah. Okay, so
that's the last I've heard about it. That they just moved.
There has been an incredible development in the story.
Oh no.
For some background for the viewers, "He Will Not Divide Us" is a thing. It was kind of like an art project. Set up by Shia LaBeouf. And so what he did was basically in New York City, he partnered with a museum, and they just had a 24-hour live stream going with a camera that was just in the little lot of the museum. And the idea was people were supposed to go up to it and chant "He will not divide us" for the entirety of Trump's presidency, as a protest thing almost. Well, almost instantly, a bunch of memers got a hold of it and just started disrupting everything. And it got to the point.
Fantastic.
It got to the point where Shia LaBeouf, he was there, and he got arrested for abusing a guy and licking him because he was.
He licked a guy?
Yeah.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, the guy that was saying praise Keck and all that stuff, just spewing memes. Yeah.
The Sherlock Holmes looking guy. Yeah.
I highly suggest. I just discovered this guy a week ago, but not the praise Keck guy, but this one guy called Internet Historian, I think. He just started making videos, and he just covers all these 4chan and Tumblr events of stuff that happens. Perfect. And these wars and battles and how they affected real life. It's hilarious. Anyway.
Really?
Yeah, and he has three. Great. He has 3 videos on "He Will Not Divide Us," I think.
Check him out. What's his username?
Internet Historian, I believe.
All right.
Anyway, so then they eventually put up a fence, so only 5 people can go up to the live stream at a time. So that was cool.
Dividing them.
Yeah, literally. So eventually they moved it to Albuquerque, New Mexico, probably because they thought it, not as many conservative people.
Well, the reason they moved it is because the museum apparently filed a complaint saying that things were getting too violent. There was too much. They had a lot of incidents outside of their museum that they didn't want to be involved with, so they decided the museum shut them down. And for a while, I guess when they were in the process of moving the stream, if you just went to the website, it was just a blank screen that was "The museum has betrayed us" or something like that. It was great.
Anyway, so they move it to Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is, I guess they thought would be more liberal, I guess, or democratic, so that there'd be less people messing with it. They were not correct. People still messed with it, and so they had to move it. This one lasted a little longer though. The first one only lasted 3 weeks. I think this one lasted almost a month.
Yeah, I think so.
And then they had to move it again because
really?
For basically the same reasons. But this time, for the 3rd time, it wasn't moved to another museum. It was just a live stream of a flag in the middle of nowhere that just says "He will not divide us."
I know about this.
Yeah, it's just a flag. Nobody knows where it is. It's just the camera's just pointed at the sky and the flag is waving on a flagpole. All right.
Yes, and the flag says "He will not divide us."
Yes.
On the front,
yes.
Of course.
So, almost instantly, the internet just got to work. And again, I found all this out through the Internet Historian video. So apparently, there's on 4chan, there's I don't know how 4chan works necessarily, but it's a forum site, and they have this one forum, I think, called Poll, which is politically incorrect, and so these people are just
I know about this. I've heard about it.
Yeah. And so what they did was they basically got to work trying to figure out where it was, and it is crazy to the lengths that they went to try and find this thing.
It's insane. I watched a video on it. The links that oh my god, that is dedication. That is pure dedication, and all I have for them is respect.
So the first things they noticed is all right, so I can hear frogs in the background, right? So it's probably near a watering area. And then based on the timing of the sunset, they basically narrowed it down to the Eastern time zone, right?
Yes.
And so from there, they started using. They got people that They basically assembled a team of astronomers, essentially. And
4chan astronomers.
4chan astronomers, and like based on the positioning of the star, they narrowed down the area, right? And then, but their major big break was figuring out the flight paths of 2 planes seen flying in the sky, right? And then from this, you know, like 2 planes flying at the same time in the same general direction, they narrowed it down even more. And then they used like trigonometry and to the point
insane.
where they narrowed it down to like someplace in the middle of Tennessee. This
like
was
some random place.
This was confirmed even further by like a tweet from some like rinky-dink little diner that had like Shia LaBeouf visit, you know, for lunch.
Yeah. And it's also notable that they were able to figure all of this out in a very short amount of time.
It was like 3 days, I think.
It was very short.
Very short.
Considering everything they had to do to figure this out.
Yeah.
And
mind
lo
you,
and behold, they pulled through.
Mind you, this is literally everything they have to go off of is a live stream of a flagpole that says "He will not divide us," pointing into the sky. There are no landmark features. The only thing you see is the sky and the flagpole and the flag.
It's unbelievable. Like, it's seriously, oh my god.
And so to bring it to an end, they had one guy. They basically like narrowed it down to like a county area.
Into the field.
Into the field, and he was like driving around like honking his horn to like so that the people on the live stream could hear him and be like, "No, you're closer, you're close," you know. And so this guy eventually found it, but he waited until the cover of night to make sure like nobody was around because Shia LaBeouf was in the general area, I guess. And so in the middle of the night on live stream, the "He will not divide us" flag went down, and what went up was a "Make America Great Again" hat. And a Pepe shirt, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was beautiful.
I love it so much.
And he stole the flag. He like scribbled all over it, took a picture of it.
Yeah, they took the flag.
And so what happened? This part's really funny. Shia LaBeouf found out, of course. And so he put up another flag, and
being the genius he is.
And then so what he does next is a bunch of stupid internet memers, right? That know trigonometry and astronomy, apparently. They got Shia LaBeouf, a $25 million Hollywood actor, to guard this flagpole in the middle of Tennessee with a baseball bat, 24/7. And that is the most recent development, I believe.
That is the best thing ever. Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry about
I thought you
that.
said you had your headphones in.
What? Okay, see, no, I got my phone here right by my mic.
Okay.
And whenever somebody calls me on my computer, obviously on Skype, it goes off on my phone, so it's great. But anyway, I have my sound turned on in hopes that I get another text and you guys can hear my Kim Possible text tone once again. But which somebody commented about. But anyway, it's glorious. So is he still guarding the flagpole? Do you know?
I haven't checked since yesterday, but I didn't really do too much research on it. And I think the video that was uploaded by Internet Historian was like uploaded like 2 days ago. So I don't know what the most recent development. I believe like the people at Poll on 4chan, they were like devising a plan to like fit out a drone with a bucket on it, and then the bucket had a Confederate flag and a MAGA hat on it. And what they would do is so that, you know, Shia couldn't reach it, they would get the drone. At least this is what they were planning, I think. They would get the drone.
Which,
and then,
I mean, I don't doubt that they can't pull this off.
You know, tie the bucket and all that stuff on, and then drop the bucket on top of the flagpole, and that has the Confederate flag and the MAGA hat connected to it. So, I don't know what they've done since then. This was, you know, but
these are the most recent developments.
This is one of the most hilarious things, and I am so glad that the internet exists.
It's like trolling taken to another level. And this whole the whole "He will not divide us" thing has been relevant ever since Trump got into office. The whole point of it is just to be a stream. Well, originally, you know, the plan was that it would just be up in New York for 4 years, continuously
4 to
until
8
Trump got out
years,
of office.
potentially.
Or 4 to 8 years, I guess. Until Trump left office. And the fact that it's only been a thing for, I guess, going on really 2 months now. Or 3, maybe? Like, because it was the end of January.
Yeah,
right?
It's about 2. Yeah, it's about 2.5 right now, I think.
And, like, it's already at this level. Can you imagine?
This is legitimately,
December
like...
alone, what's all gonna, what all of would have happened, I guess, over the course of this year alone is gonna be amazing. But, what were you saying?
Imagine if you could harness the energy that these people are putting into this kind of... This is legitimately stuff that, like, the CIA would do, it feels like. You know? Like, what if they just got, like, a board on 4chan to find Osama bin Laden, like, 7 years ago?
They could have done it. Yeah.
And but, like, at the end, they said, oh, yeah, he's, like, making, like... if Osama was, like, making videos and 4chan, and posting them on the internet, and 4chan was like, oh, yeah, what a stupid meme this guy is. We should totally find him and troll the hell out of him. They probably could have done it, yeah. Though, they
probably could have.
They didn't have the mini drones back then that anyone could just buy.
No. Although, I will say, if they were hired by the government, assuming, they would have probably trolled the government in a way they would.
Oh yeah, they probably would have.
They probably would have been. Oh yeah, so he's over here.
They probably would have trolled the government
to the completely different direction.
Oh yeah, to the point where like, they're in such a different direction that they probably would have committed like another 9/11 like event, and they'd be like, lol,
we caused this. Yeah. That's why 4chan exists, and
pretty much.
I couldn't be more happier. Yeah, that makes sense.
Anyway,
but they're great. I'm not really a huge, like, it doesn't, like, you don't have to be a fan of Trump to appreciate their work.
Right.
Like, it's just the fact that they're able to troll him and that they're going to this extent to do it that is just amazing.
You can regardless of your political affiliation, I feel like anyone can appreciate this good meme.
You have to applaud these brave people. Not all heroes wear capes, as it were.
Except for maybe Shia LaBeouf. He might not appreciate this so much, but
no.
The other
but then again, Shia LaBeouf is kind of an idiot, so it's okay.
I'm not.
Has he been in anything recently, or is he just kind of? Is this how he's getting famous now?
The most recent
this is how he's staying relevant.
I remember he was in was Fury back in 2015, and he actually did pretty well in that role. I don't know what he's done since. Of course, Do It. That not fan film, but that student film kind of thing that Just Do It was a part of.
Yeah, I remember that. I was a freshman that year, so that's 2 years ago, I guess. And now there's this, so he's just keeping up his relevancy, and he doesn't even have to act in anything. So that's pretty remarkable in itself. But
looks like he's not in like anything.
What?
Basically.
By Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, Fury was 2014. My bad.
Let me look. Are you looking at his like IMDb?
Yeah, he's basically been in like 1 or 2 roles a year, ever since 2012-ish.
Oh, I forgot.
Even since 2009, he hasn't really done too much.
Let's see. Oh, Fury was before the Just Do It thing. He was
Elastic Heart. Yeah, I forgot about that.
What?
Elastic Heart, the Sia music video, where he was like in a cage fighting with a little girl.
That was so weird. Why was he in that?
I don't know. I think
why?
He's trying really hard to be an artist.
He's trying. He's teaming up with Jaden Smith, one of the most influential artists of the decade.
Yeah, what's he doing again? What's that project
That's
about
one thing. Nobody mentions Jaden Smith with the whole "He Will Not Divide Us" thing. Is he just not as active? Like, is he not as prominent?
Wait, was Jaden Smith like an integral part of "He Will Not Divide Us"?
Yeah, he and Shia came up with it.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, those are like the 2 most likely culprits.
They're the best people to troll, honestly. Yeah. So I mean,
I'm glad Jaden Smith memes have come back again with his video that he did with whatever that website was.
Oh yeah, I remember that. He quit Twitter, didn't he?
I think he did, sadly.
Oh, it was a while ago, but yeah. All good things must come to an end, I suppose. Just like this podcast. Good night, everybody.
All right, thanks everybody for listening.
We will now cut to a 50-minute live birth. that'd be great if we did that. But
So yeah.
Anyway, that was great. That was a thing that happened.
Again, I highly suggest the Internet Historian YouTube channel. I found out like it makes so much sense now that I think about it, but apparently like 4chan and Tumblr are essentially mortal enemies.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And kind of, and Reddit's kind of a in the middle, you know, I would say.
Yeah.
Like Reddit's not extreme like 4chan is, but they're also not horrible like Tumblr is, I guess.
Yeah. Though Reddit does tend to lean more towards, in my limited experience with Reddit, it does lean more towards 4chan. Because,
no, of course.
You know, Tumblr is
and
more
I'm okay with that. If they lean, yeah.
Yeah.
Tumblr is just absolute cancer. I can't say anything good about Tumblr. I'm sorry. It is absolute trash. And I stand by that. The few times I've been on Tumblr, which I don't have a Tumblr account. My friend Adele does, and we have, she has shown me some things on there.
I'm just gonna go to Tumblr and see like...
Don't go to Tumblr, it's a bad idea.
What do we... I'm just gonna search, whatever, I don't care. I was trying to do
No, but yeah, it is kind of entertaining how Tumblr and 4chan are just these enemies. It's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so I went to He Will Not Divide Us, I should say. And it's just a gray screen that says waiting for the event to go live. So do they not have it back up yet?
No, they did have it back up because I remember checking this yesterday.
What happened to it?
So I saw the clip where like the guy took down the thing straight from like the raw live stream footage. And then the next day this flag was up again. And then the time that I was there yesterday, it was up. So something has happened.
We don't know what.
Probably as a result of 4chan.
We can assume.
Yeah. And I am eagerly awaiting the results, and I'm sure if something did happen, Internet Historian is working on a video as we speak.
Yeah, we can only hope. Which, of course, I mean, we were recording this on a Saturday night, so by the time this podcast goes up, we would probably know more if you guys went to go check out this guy's channel. So, just to clarify that. I dropped a piece of clay on the ground and I can't find it.
Yeah. I think that's all we're good on the He Will Not Divide Us stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about what happened to me, or you, I guess. We need to talk about it. We can talk about our week, I imagine, on this podcast as well. If something remarkable happens at school, but I was not at school this past week. It was spring break, so I don't really have a lot to say.
I have spring break next week.
Ooh, very nice.
So that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, there you go. I didn't really do a lot this spring break.
No, yeah. You just been kind of
a little
working the good work.
Doing the Lord's work, yeah.
Yep.
I'm a good Catholic boy, as
your Skype thing says.
My Skype. Oh yeah, I updated my Skype thing for those of you who don't know. It says, "I'm a truth talking, praise singing, heart blessing, prayer praying, Jesus loving child of God."
And like every other letter is capitalized, and then.
Yeah. So it's got that going as well.
Lowercase.
But it's from a T-shirt I saw today at this one Christian bookstore. Don't ask me what I was doing in the Christian bookstore, but I was like, this really speaks to me.
On a spiritual level, of course.
Yeah, on a spiritual level, nonetheless. And needless to say, I bought the shirt as well.
You did? Right, did you?
No. I wish.
That is a thing you would do, I feel like.
I would probably, I'd buy that and wear it to school.
If you actually did, I would demand a picture be posted to Twitter at this very moment.
If I ever do that. Now, in fact, I'm gonna do it now that you said that.
Oh.
Next time I go back to that store,
Okay,
I am buying that shirt, and I will post a picture of myself wearing it to the Blockheads Twitter account. So make sure you're following us. Stay tuned for that.
Oh, yeah, follow us there.
But it'll be good.
Yeah. So,
anyway.
So I guess we could get into our main topic tonight, right?
Right into the topic. Yeah, usually we don't have like a primary topic on this. Well, okay, maybe I shouldn't say that because last show it was incest, and this time it's something significantly different. We're talking the Innocuous Reviewer this show.
Yeah. So, episode 1 we're talking about incest and Wonder Woman, and we kind of got a little sexist in there. But now we're talking about today we're talking about the merits of reviews and how should reviews be taken, and
also brick films and
quality versus quantity. So we're basically getting into these kind of like more philosophical kind of
this
topics.
Is gonna jump around a lot. Over the course of the next however long we do this.
Right, because as much as we like to goof around and talk about incest for half of an episode. We were actually pretty serious about that topic as well. I wouldn't say we were very serious, but we kind of took it to like we actually had a discussion about it, kind of.
Yeah, we meant what we said. I mean, even though we were joking about it, like there was still something there.
Right.
I hope.
Of course.
I mean, I hope there's something somebody can take away.
Right.
Probably not, but
we can only hope.
We can only hope. Anyway, so we got this comment telling us to talk about the Innocuous Reviewer.
Yeah, it was,
and the controvery surrounding him.
It was asked by Waste
We
Man
decided,
Productions.
we're like, okay, let's take a look at his account. I think we're both following him. He's very. If you don't know who the Innocuous Reviewer is, I would describe him as, probably the only really fair brick film reviewer in this community.
Yeah.
Would you say?
At least on. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say fair, but I definitely say this guy takes a more.
He's like.
How can I put this? Or at least this team of people, because
we don't know.
I'm
exactly.
almost positive it's more than one person. I think they've said it before. They take a more. I don't know how to put this. Not a serious take on
kind of reviewing brick films. Yeah. A critical take.
A more critical take.
Very critical take on brick films, and I have no problem with that. They analyze like every aspect of the video they're reviewing, and they don't ignore they don't let anything slide. It would seem like they
certainly don't sugarcoat it at all.
No, they just don't use any lube at all. They just go right in.
Bite the pillow.
Raw dog the whole thing.
Going in dry.
Anyway, mama. Okay.
Yeah. So initially, this the first few reviews that this Innocuous review account did were some. The first one was your generic video that you see around. If you don't know, there's a lot of if you're not within the Instagram Lego community,
which if you aren't in the Lego Instagram community, you're lucky, I should say. Is that okay to say here? Okay.
No, yeah, I definitely think so.
The Instagram Lego community, for the most part, is absolute cancer. I don't feel bad saying that.
I like to blame a lot of things on being on younger people.
Yeah. Wait, hang on one second. Hang on. Keep talking. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I like to blame a lot of stuff on because of a younger audience, but that's what Instagram is, at least in the Lego brick filming sense of things, because like it's a social media that is used by definitely a much younger audience, especially when compared to something like Twitter. Like this particular generation of like, I'd say up to like 16, 17 and under, people don't, generally use Twitter at all. But like everyone has an Instagram. Or like everyone has a Snapchat, so it's kind of like that shift. But like Instagram right now is definitely skewed towards a younger audience in general, or at least it's attained a younger audience in general, I should say. And so because of that, you get a lot of kind of more immaturity, more drama. But that's only natural with this kind of stuff.
Sorry about that, I'm back.
Anyway, so like generally, like there have been quite a few, brick filming review accounts. None of them stick around for too long, because most people tend to give up after a month or two, or like their source material dries up or whatever.
People stop paying it. Maybe people like they kind of lose people along the way as well. If they don't change things up,
but
keep it interesting.
The problem with a lot of these is that they tend to be not thought out, very much reviews. They're either all like overly supportive not critical enough, or
yeah,
just like arbitrarily random at times.
Yeah,
like,
they're either really and sometimes
like,
they'll be very biased as well.
Yeah,
for instance, if the person knows the brick filmer that they're reviewing, then they can be very biased. They can be very generous, I guess, in their review.
Right.
Or even then it kind of makes it illegitimate.
Even with like that one thing, like, remember that one account who I think graded on a percentage system, and they reviewed one of Akash's videos and it got like a 99% or something, I think, or 97%.
Yeah.
And then Austin's videos.
I know he's Akash. Okay, sorry.
And then like one of Austin's videos, which was essentially the same thing in terms of like theme, the kind of like more dramatic superhero series, Marvel kind of thing. I think that's what it was, at least, or maybe it was an episode of Winter Soldier. But that one got like a 77% just because the person didn't like Austin, didn't watch Austin as much, at least.
Yeah, or didn't like maybe it's because Austin had a smaller following or something like that as well.
Right.
Some people would review it like that, and I think that's kind of disappointing. But the Innocuous Reviewer does not care. He just
this
goes
person
all
is
in.
Very critical. Like,
doesn't care about hurting anybody's feelings, and I kind of respect that about him. He's being honest, at least.
One of these things that I've come to like, I wouldn't say hate, but one of these things that
dislike
that I dislike in this community, and has started to kind of annoy me in recent times, is these kind of like generic brick films where it's just like everyone's trying to copy Akash, right?
A superhero thumbnail, or a superhero video with a thumbnail with like a solid color behind it. I think Linkin Pop started that trend. That Akash started doing it. And
then Akash
just
blew
everybody
up.
else now does it.
And they tend to be really shallow with in general. They tend to be pretty shallow storyline. Each episode tends to revolve around a single character, generally, within an overarching plot line. But then like you'll just kind of like throw in characters just for the sake of fan service without like thinking about an actual plot. And granted, if you just want to make a brick film for the hell of it, go for it. But if you want to try and actually better your craft, just doing whatever for fan service, or just because you think it's cool, isn't necessarily the best way to go all the time.
Exactly. And I mean, people will do this because it does get views a lot of the time.
Right.
People love clicking on thumbnails with like a popular superhero in them or whatever, like Daredevil or Spider-Man or Hulk or whatever it is. And kids are seeing that works, and that gets them views, so they'll just continue to do the same thing instead of branching out, and trying something more original.
And I wouldn't even say when people start out that like a lot of people do it just for the views. I'd say that like when you get more entrenched in it and you put more effort into it and you've been around the block once or twice, then it becomes more about views for doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of these people do it just because they enjoy that kind of content, and it's what they think is cool or appealing. Anyway, so like one of the when did they write this? February 3rd. Really? Is that when Innocuous Reviews started? I guess. Interesting.
Yeah, there was a lot of controversy around. Wait, are we talking about his first review?
I mean, I'm just putting it up as an example, but like.
Oh, Josiah's. Ooh.
So right around February 3rd, this new review account pops up called the Innocuous Reviews, and there was a lot of controversy surrounding it because a lot of people thought it was overly critical. But when you actually think about it, and when you have like this kind of standard for brick film making, he wasn't necessarily that critical at all.
No, he brought up a lot of good points that a lot of other reviewers up until now have just overlooked. And I think that's what was jarring about it to most people.
And for a lot of the previous reviewers, their standards were, I don't want to say they had low standards, but they had low standards, They
let things slide way too often, I guess.
Yeah, and I think because a lot of those early review accounts were at that level of brick filming. We didn't have any, like, people who either, gave enough of a they didn't care enough to like actually think about like, all right, what actually makes this good, not what do I think makes this cool. You know, a lot of those earlier reviews focused on what was cool, how smooth the animation was all the time. How smooth is the animation? There's a fixation on it in this community.
That's like all they would look at was the animation, and then the lighting and the voice acting, and maybe sometimes like the dialogue, but like nobody ever looked at the plot or the plot holes or anything like that, like what the Innocuous Reviewer has been definitely paying attention to recently.
Right. And I'd say that you don't really you haven't seen this kind of critical standard that, because when you have a review for something that's not, that's just like an all right brick film, but you say it's like everything's great, that person doesn't grow, right?
Exactly.
Outside of like
okay, this is good enough, I'm going to keep doing this, and then they don't understand that there are many things that they could probably improve on.
You need to they don't need to understand that you need to try and like hustle, try and put everything you have into it to make a better piece of content.
You want every single video you do in brick filming or just in general on YouTube to be better than the last if you want to continue to grow and stuff. And with a lot of the review pages that existed before the Innocuous Reviewer, they just they didn't really point out anything like, you know what I mean? Like they didn't like
anything that's like more, I guess, objective, I suppose, like more like stuff that's objectively good, even though I personally don't think something objectively good doesn't exist. Literally every kind of review out there is based solely on the opinion of the reviewer.
Exactly.
But like more so in a sense that like what is generally agreed upon, this is what a high quality story and animation and voice acting looks like. It was a lot more personal taste, which has its place certainly in reviews, but I wouldn't say that there was too much of that.
No, the whole review shouldn't be based on like your personal view.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't make any sense. No, never mind. Your personal view of the person, shouldn't. If you're judging a video in particular, you shouldn't just be generous just because you like the person or whatever. There's a difference between liking somebody as a person and then liking their content. Basically, what I'm trying to say.
Right.
And with people who reviewed Akash's stuff, maybe they'd be pretty generous because they liked Akash as a person, or they liked some of his other videos, and they're like, okay, well, I'm gonna give this a pass, on this one video.
Or even that, I think that they just didn't have the critical. This sounds so like egotistical and high and mighty,
Whatever.
But they didn't have like the reviewing capabilities, I guess, the analytical capabilities to really analyze what makes something good. Outside of like how smooth is the animation, outside of that.
Yeah, because anybody can judge that.
Right.
It takes a lot of skill to actually analyze something and look more in depth into what what the video's about and what makes it good.
And
that's what the Innocuous Reviewer is doing.
I wouldn't even say that the Innocuous Reviewer is that good at being like a reviewer. It's not like they're doing anything that's incredible, but it's something that's more, puts feelings aside, and raises a bar, and like, this is what we strive for, this is the kind of quality that we have, and keep that at a consistent level. And so that's why you'll see stuff like, the Lego Batman Returns video that Forrest made, right? That was with Nightwing that he just recently uploaded. Most people just say that's a 10 out of 10 just because the animation was great and everything just looks stunning. But the Innocuous Reviewer gave it an 8 out of 10 because it was technically very impressive, but there just wasn't a whole lot of substance to it, and that's because it was.
I would agree actually.
That's because it was just a little skit, and they kind of gave it a little pass because of that. But and he wanted more phonetic mouth movements, which I'm like, okay, at that point, that's.
I do think he goes overboard on some things. I'm not going to pretend,
right.
That he doesn't.
Yeah.
But he is way more critical than any type of reviewer that we've seen in this community up until now.
Yeah.
And it seems like the community at first didn't take it very well. I mean,
yeah.
When he reviewed Josiah's video, I remember that was, oh my god, that was quite the day, because Josiah, I don't think he's listening to this. I don't want to say too much about Josiah, because we can get into that another time, but he got really mad at the fact that this guy was very critical of his video, and thought the review was unfair simply because he disliked it. Therefore, he tried to silence him. He not only blocked him, but he also reported him. And the account, I remember, at first got taken down for a short period of time, for like less than an hour. It was a very short time. But still, the fact that he was trying to silence it really says a lot. Like, people are not used to, somebody this critical, somebody this like judgmental, I guess, would that
yeah, someone with such a high standard of quality.
So yeah, there you go. Someone with such high standards.
And he just saw how generic this video was from Josiah, at least in his opinion, and he gave it a correlating review. He gave it a 4 out of 10, I believe. Well, I actually do believe it. Okay, I should mention it was either 3 or 4 out of 10. I should mention that, call it bias or whatever, but I am. They did ask me to narrate one of their reviews, and I accepted. So call that a conflict of interest. Call that a conflict of interest or whatever. I like what they're doing, but I don't necessarily agree with what they're saying in the review. I just like what they're bringing to the table in terms of being a reviewer in the LEGO community. And it's not like nobody has been this critical before. Like, if you go to bricksinmotion.com and you post your video there, you'll get like 2 to 3 comments.
Yeah, but like, how many people use Bricks in Motion anymore? Like, most people on Instagram, at least in the Instagram brick filming community, are new to this sort of thing,
Right. But like, if you want feedback on stuff, go to Bricks in Motion.
I'm not saying don't go to Bricks in Motion.
It tends to be consisted of a lot of more mature brick filmers, so they'll actually give you like good feedback.
Some constructive criticism.
At least from a technical standpoint, but I mean, it's a conglomerate of a bunch of people, but I digress.
Yeah. I believe Bricks in Motion actually contacted me not too long ago asking me if I wanted to like join them or something like that. It was like something along those lines. It was kind of weird. I bet I could find the email, but I don't know. I don't know much about them besides that.
Maybe it was the Brick Filmers Guild or something like that.
I don't know. I'd have to find it. Whatever. It was a while ago.
Anyway. So, I guess in particular, we wanted to talk about this one review he recently gave that was particularly controversial, I'd say. And I'm not just saying that. The post literally has 113 comments, and this account has 127 followers. So, I mean. Recently, Innocuous Reviewers gave a review on an episode of the brick filmer. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Sorry, dude.
DTinaglia?
I think it's DTinaglia because his name's Dan, and
his name is Dan. Let's just call him Dan.
Dan.
Okay, everybody knows who Dan is. He's got like almost 60,000 subscribers. I believe.
Right, and if you don't, it's DTinaglia Studios. Yeah,
and the reason this review was so controversial is he gave, after the scathing essay that he gave it, in the end he gave it a 1.5 out of 10, and I think that's the lowest review he's ever given anything.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. And
that's saying a lot. So, needless to say, this caused quite an uproar within Dan's fan base and just the community in general. People on both sides arguing back and forth in the comments, and since we wanted to talk a little bit about it, and since this was one of the more controversial reviews he's done, we figured we should talk to Dan about it. Like, we hit him up in the DMs, because it all goes down in the DMs.
Before we should preface what he does. So he's a brick filmer, but he doesn't, as most brick filmers would, most brick filmers usually don't have a set schedule for uploads, I'd say.
Yes.
Maybe at like the more professional level, you'll have someone that'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna have a video out every other week, or something like that.
And sometimes they don't even achieve that.
Right, and sometimes I'm gonna have a short coming out every other week or every month or something like that. But this guy, Dan, he has an Ninjago series. He has a few series, I think, but mainly he has an Ninjago series that's mostly story driven, and he has 13 episode seasons that he produces, and each episode's about 6 to 7 minutes long. But the thing is, he produces each episode weekly.
Yeah, it's on a weekly basis.
He doesn't release them weekly, like he works over the course of an entire year and then releases them weekly. No, he produces each episode by week. Yeah, he produces them on a week by week basis. Now, as you might think, any of the animators out there, that doesn't necessarily produce, give you enough time to produce a whole lot of content with a good amount of quality. And because he's what he's going for with the storyline is like 6 to 7 to 9 even minute episodes.
It's also worth noting that he's on his 3rd season, so he's been doing this for quite a while as well.
Oh yeah, for a few years at least.
Yeah.
But it. How do we want to describe his videos? You can go check it out for yourself. This particular review...
I'm not saying this myself, but I've heard some people call his videos great, and I've heard some people call his videos a glorified PowerPoint, in some ways. Because I also just want to say, I want to preface all this by saying that, like, anything we say over the course of however long we talk about this is not meant as an attack on Dan in any way as a person,
Right.
Like... I've talked to Dan before. I would consider us friends, maybe.
Friendly.
He's friendly, yeah. But he's backed me up a few times on Twitter in certain arguments because we do have similar political. Well, actually, maybe not that similar, but either way, he's backed me up in some arguments on Twitter and stuff. So he's been a nice guy. He's been nice to me at least. He's been nice to other people. People just like him generally as a person. It's just his content that can get a bit controversial, maybe.
Yeah.
For some people.
So
he's got quite a few critics.
For a lot of people, his videos aren't really animated. They're more storyboards, if anything, with
like a PowerPoint.
Right. And this is nothing this. I'm just trying to say it as I see it. Whenever he does have animation, because he's producing these on such a tight time schedule, the little animation that there is usually
very rough,
choppy, rough, low frame rate,
light flicker,
right? And when people say low frame rate, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, you can get by with low frame rate. You can get by.
I'd say even as low as 8 FPS, you can make great stop motion. You just need to know how things move and how physics work, at least in a way that looks believable. If you can do that, then you can have animation that looks great. Because there are a lot of brick films out there that are low FPS, but they are done very well because
yes, exactly.
People have an understanding of how things move.
Sorry, what?
Go ahead.
I was just saying, even Sam and Mickey, Sam voices Batgirl for me. They have a stop motion channel where they do stop motion Barbies, and they run at like 10 FPS, I think. And the way they know how to make Barbies move. Like, it'd be better if they moved at 10 FPS because they're Barbies and stuff. And like sometimes at 15 FPS, I guess, just doesn't work with their animation style.
Right.
I guess is what I'm trying to say.
15 FPS is kind of like this weird middle ground point because, for regular movies and film, you're supposed to have like 24 FPS. For regular internet videos or like sitcoms or whatever, it's 30 FPS. But for animation, so that you're not spending, at least when you're more of an amateur, and amateur meaning like not professional, I should say. Because so basically like every brick filmer is an amateur, I'd say. Okay, wait, that could be taken out. That could be taken in the wrong way.
Well, yeah,
I'd say a very large majority of, like even up to people like people that don't get paid to do this kind of stuff on a regular basis, I'd say, is kind of more amateur-ish in a way. That's not necessarily in the industry, I guess. I don't know. I'm just kind of digging myself a hole here.
No, I get what you're saying, but yeah.
Just toss me a ladder when you get the chance.
Try to think.
We have a very spacious yard here in Guam.
We have a very yeah. Alex is actually in a tree right now outside. That's why it needs me to give him a ladder.
No, because I'm digging myself a hole, mate. You didn't.
Oh, my mistake. Who's that in the tree then?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Who is that?
Should I hit him with the? Let's see. We don't have any. We're not allowed to keep guns up here. Guns are banned. But I do think here we got a jar of wasp spray. If you would like me to shoot him down with that.
Yeah, we'll get him later. We'll give him a few.
I think it's Nia Walker. Oh no! He found us.
That was a fun update. Quick aside, by the way. So yes, last episode we did the episode about incest and how Nia Walker was talking about how it's okay to do incest.
As long as you don't have kids because of all that autism stuff, mind you.
And I openly criticized this person for saying that, and that was stupid in last week's podcast. And then I sent it over Twitter. I sent our episode to him over Twitter. And he's like,
didn't listen to it.
He's like, no, it's lies. It's just lies. It's lies and lies and lies and lies. Like he was having a mental breakdown almost.
It was hilarious.
It was pretty funny, and he didn't even listen to it. He's like, I'm not gonna listen to it because I just be egging on the haters. I'm like,
isn't that genius?
He's like, but he says, thank you for bringing this to my attention, though. Not knowing that I am one of the co-hosts in this video that is actively criticizing him. So.
Does he still not know it?
No, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. So
I guess he knows I am, but maybe.
Well, I don't think he knows who's in the podcast.
Yeah, he didn't listen to the podcast.
He didn't even look.
He just looked at the title and was like, "Oh, criticizing me. What can I do? I'm gonna." Of course, he's not gonna listen to it because that would just. You can't do that, but. I don't know what I'm saying, but. Obviously, he's not going to waste time listening to it because he doesn't want to change his opinion on anything.
Yeah, no, it's pretty funny. So he doesn't know that but he's like, thanks anyway for bringing this to my attention.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it to his. He's not going to do anything about it.
So I found that
it's a bit of an idiot.
Quite ironic, yeah. Anyway, let's get back to Dan.
Dan. Anyway, so
So anyway, the little animation that is there is choppy, and a majority of the visuals are just still frames, right?
Yeah.
Very, very simple.
He focuses more on the story, as he said when we talked to him in the DMs that we sent him.
Right.
But
a lot of people were actually getting kind of they were opposing the review because they thought that since Dan produces this content on a weekly basis, that he should be exempt or judged on a different scale. But then there were people who were like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Just because he's doing it faster and on a more scheduled time means he should be judged differently for doing so.
Yeah, because he's still doing it.
It's still a brick film, right? And
yeah,
at least
he's got the ability to work, longer on it if he wanted to. Granted, that would not, his fans wouldn't be pleased with that, and that's kind of a thing that he mentioned when we talked to him. We asked him in fact, I should probably open up the DM.
And clearly, whatever he's doing is working for him. At least right now it is. He's got 58,000 subscribers. He's getting 60,000 views a video. He's getting 1.2 million views in the past month. So, whatever he's doing, it's doing well. And it seems like that he's attracting this younger crowd. I just keep bashing like kids, you know, even though
kids are stupid. So
we're like 3 years off from them, but like
no, they're still kids and they're stupid. So.
Yeah, but
they deserve it.
He attracts like this younger crowd, and I mean like younger crowd, like I'd say around 10 years old. That's really into Ninjago, like really into it. And like when you're a kid, you don't care if something's bad, right?
No.
You know, like.
You just like it because it's a thing that you like. It's based off of a popular TV show.
Right.
So it's like...
Kids don't care about quality.
No.
Like,
they care about quantity.
Why do you think SpongeBob is still going? Right?
Yeah. Is it still going?
Yes,
I thought they ended it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
Why do you think, like half of the cartoons on Cartoon Network and mostly Nickelodeon, they produce a lot of garbage cartoons, are so
it is
bad.
It is working for him.
You know.
Yeah.
So he's able to draw in this audience, but it's clearly affecting his quality, and so we wanted to ask him a few questions on his process. So it all goes down in the DMs, in the words of Keemstar, I think.
Yeah,
maybe.
Keemstar.
Yeah. And we
maybe that should be the title of this video.
Yeah.
This episode.
So. First off, we wanted to know how many hours a week he spends on each episode of like an average Ninjago episode.
Right, he spends, he said it's 2 hours planning, 5 hours animating, 6 hours of editing, and then it should be done. So it's about 13 hours total in each video.
Yeah, right around.
Essentially. And that's in between like homework and after school activities, and he's got a social life. I mean,
and it's he's at the point where it's not like taking over his life, I'd say, because he says he's doing pretty well. He's taking AP classes and he's balancing his social life and whatever well, along with spending 15 hours a week, which isn't that much really. I'd say that's like
like
it's
15 hours on a video. That is not a lot.
I mean, it's like 2 hours a day. Well, I guess that is quite a bit when you think about it.
2 hours
really.
a day for a week.
Right, but he might spend a lot of time on the weekend, but we didn't get that far into it. And he usually uploads an episode on Friday night, like around midnight, Saturday.
Yeah, midnight to about 3, he said. So I guess he just uploaded the new one.
Yeah. We asked him, since he uploads on such a strict schedule, if he's ever late on a video, would he ever push it back? What he's done, in that kind of situation. Or if he'll just like release it as is. Because I wasn't, with his content, I wasn't sure if it was just kind of like a situation where he's like, well, this is as good as it's gonna get. Let's just throw it out there,
Yeah,
or if he's like,
please his fans.
Or if he's like, no, this is the quality I'm going for in this short time period, for at least the amount I'm getting out there.
Yeah. And he actually said he would never release anything as is.
Unfinished in his eyes, at least.
Right. But then again, he's never had to push anything back except for one time, where it was because he was on vacation, I think is what he said.
Right, and he doesn't just like push things back a day. He'll push them back like a week, but even then he'll have like 2 episodes, he said, to compensate for that. He'll release them at the same time. And so, I wanted to know more about his audience, because obviously it's kind of like this much younger crowd. And kids tend to be more ravenous, I'd say, when they don't get what they want, and can definitely be more rash when something isn't going their way necessarily.
Yeah.
And so,
I
asked him like that time that he had to push it back a week. I asked how his audience reacted, and he says, or I asked him, did his audience react negatively? And he says, yes, they normally do. I get about 15 to 20 comments if I'm an hour or so late. Which, when you think about it, he's uploading at like midnight on Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
kids stay up to watch it sometimes, I guess. We didn't ask him. We didn't like check to see what his, his what part of the world, like what his time zone is. I guess.
Right. I mean, I think he's in the Americas at least.
Yeah, he's in America. I just don't know.
Right, because just from his accent, he's either Canadian or American. There's
Probably
no.
should ask him that.
I mean, unless he moved somewhere else.
I don't know.
So, you want to go with the next one since this was your question?
What? Oh yeah. So anyway, basically, then after that, I asked him, if I wanted to know if he sets this schedule for himself, like this strict schedule for his own sake, or if he just feels obligated to meet the expectations of his fans. So I asked him that, and he said it's kind of a combination of both. He likes the schedule and he said, I like the schedule and feel that it makes my channel unique. That also has its negatives, as you have all pointed out. But there is some form of fan expectations there that keep me motivated, but I don't see them as a negative thing. If I choose to make a change, they would just have to get used to it. And then after that, I asked him, if you were to make a change, how do you think they'd take it? And he said, the response would definitely be negative at first, but I think that the positive changes it would have on my videos overall would make them happier. But as always, some fans prefer the old ways to the new. So that's a pretty fair answer. I mean, I get where he's coming from, definitely.
Right. It doesn't, at least from his responses, seem like he's driven just solely by his fans. But
no, but that is a factor.
It's definitely a factor, and stuff that
and
he says.
I can see where he's coming from.
Stuff that he says later in the interview, I think actually points more towards that than he at least lets up, or at least he realizes. In my personal opinion. Yeah. So
but no, I understand like how you would get motivated by that, like, having thousands of people.
Right. I mean,
expecting this one thing of you. That would definitely.
If he's got, are his videos even monetized? Yeah. Oh, that actually might change my opinion of him a little bit.
I'm pretty sure they gotta be monetized.
No, because Studios, because I didn't see any ads on that one in particular. What's his? Well, let's just see this Ninja.
Probably should have asked him that.
Oh yeah, he does have some. He does have ads.
Okay, I was gonna say, but, come on, like there's
if you're getting over 1 million views a month, that's within the realm of at least $1,000, at least several $100s a month. So that in its own, well, it depends on CPMs and stuff, and what time of year and whatever. But he'd actually have a lot of watch minutes because of the length of his episodes. So he'd probably have a much higher CPM. Anyway, so that could be a big factor in itself. We should have, that was actually one of the questions I was thinking of, but I never wrote it down. Damn.
What was it?
Well, like how, if he, how motivated is he by money? I guess.
By money, yeah.
That could potentially be a factor, but don't think about it too much. We don't have the we don't have the facts or anything. We just have Social Blade here open because I'm
sure money has to be a factor at least.
Right.
I don't know how much influence it has over his content, but I mean it's definitely there.
Right.
And for anybody.
So for this next question, like we said in this original review that we saw on the Innocuous Reviews page, there was a lot of back and forth between many different parties weighing in on this situation. And Dan actually commented on it several times, saying that he acknowledges that his content is not good, I guess.
Yeah, he didn't even try fighting it. He just went like, yeah, okay, you're right. I'm like, okay. I mean, he didn't even try to defend himself, really. He let his fans do that.
Right.
Yeah, that could either, I don't know if he was just trying to play the victim card or if he actually believes that. I can't really say either way, but
I personally think he does actually believe it because, he seems like a cool guy. But, personally, whatever. Anyway, people can do whatever they want on the internet.
Right. I just wasn't sure if he was looking for sympathy. I mean, I don't think he was, but still.
Right. So,
it's possible.
It seems from this that he's not pleased with his content. So I asked him, do you plan on making any substantial changes to his workflow or the quality of his videos? And if so, when and why? He says once his next season of Ninjago is over, big changes are coming, he says. I believe earlier when we were talking, he said, or at least somewhere else, he said he was going to do something this summer. I think that might have been in the comments. That was in the comments of the Innocuous Review page.
Yeah, I think he said it in the DM as well. Somewhere.
He says, don't want to say anything else because of possibly revealing too much, but I'm hoping the changes will please some of my critics. And then you asked...
I said, what prevents you from making those changes now? Because I wanted to know why he hasn't done it yet. And he said, schedule mostly. I want to finish as I started and make changes in between seasons or eras. That's reasonable enough.
Yeah.
You know, you'd want to stay consistent throughout the season that you're working on, I would imagine.
And going more into the the overall this kind of theme that we're going on of like, do you actually enjoy what you're doing? You continue to ask.
Yeah, I said, however, do you enjoy the process of brick filming on a weekly basis? Like, are you proud of the final product? And he said, I'm proud of them for being made in a week. I wouldn't be proud if these were the products of more than a month of animation and editing. I really do enjoy the process, though. So I said, so you do think that your overall quality could improve if you were to spend more time on your content then? He said, definitely. I feel like I just have to really focus on what specifically I need to improve and implement it as soon as possible. Extending my overall time spent per video, I think I could focus more on the improvement areas. So he's definitely making an effort to improve. At least he's going to try to do that after this season is finished, and I can definitely respect him for that. He's taking the criticisms from the Innocuous Reviewer and actually, listening to them, I guess.
The community as a whole, because I think it's fair to say he's been getting a lot of these kind of criticisms for a while now. And especially when you get more popular, a lot more people are going to criticize you, because of
that's just what
they want to be in that position or whatever. Or they think,
they don't think you should be in that position.
They don't think you should be in that position, or that you're a big boy with all the subscribers in the world. You can handle it, kind of thing. So they're more open to this.
Plus,
more likely to be honest and more critical of it.
Plus, obviously, more people start to notice you once you get bigger as well. So that adds to it as well.
And I remember, he's been big for a while, at least from what I remember.
Yeah, he was like, I remember he had at one certain time he had like double my subscribers and stuff like that. He's been big for quite a while. I think his channel's existed since like 2007, something like that.
Yeah, he's almost at 60,000 subscribers. So that should, how many? Do we know how many total views his channel has?
Sorry, what did you say?
Do you know how many total views his channel has? It's got to be like
47 million.
47. Yeah.
That's more than mine. Wow. Okay. Yeah, joined July 18th, 2007. So yeah, he's been around for quite a while. So it would make sense that he's gotten this big, I guess. But
I really wanted to get to the core of like if he actually likes his videos or not. So I said, are you actually proud of the content itself you're making right now, excluding the process and the amount of time it was made in? And he says, I'm proud of elements of it. And honestly, like,
that's a very curious statement.
If you were put in that position, would you say like, no, I hate my videos, right? Unless you're being cynical like Akash, and he's like,
no, I hate everything I do, dude. Yeah. Sorry, you can do a better impression, obviously.
Oh, bro.
I
like, bro. Oh my god, dude. Jail is
oh my god. I'm gonna get you to voice Akash sometime in my video. That's gonna be great.
But yeah, obviously you're not gonna say like, I hate my videos, they suck.
No.
But I don't necessarily believe that. I don't think his videos are of high quality personally.
No.
But he says I'm proud of elements of it. So, that answer kind of reveals that I personally think that he doesn't like what he's doing. At least that's what I'm taking from this. Well,
he's not too fond of it, at least.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, dude, like, would you want to watch a video that you have made? Like if you've made a brick film, would you watch it personally? And he says, so overall, I am proud of what I make. It sounds pathetic, but I think sometimes my content is just stylistically different from other brick films, focusing on the storyline more than other aspects. I think and I have been told that my compelling stories shine through other lacking areas in the videos. So he didn't really answer the question.
No, but the thing with that statement, No, what were you gonna say though?
It does kind of like reveal his mentality a bit.
Yes.
You know?
I also kind of wonder, he's trying to say that, he's focusing more on the storyline. Is that, I don't know if that would be enough to, like, give him a pass on, like, it's kind of sounding like he's trying to make an excuse for having, poor animation.
And this is kind of where the overall
I don't
argument,
know if that's an excuse.
This is where the whole overall argument goes. Like,
because you can have a compelling storyline, like a lot of Brick filmers do, and still have decent animation.
Right. It's like, do you...
And I'm not trying to bash him as a person,
right.
Again.
And we don't know, like, what his...
I'm just going off of what I see from his channel. Like, this is what I think.
Right. And it does tie into, like, the overall thing that people were arguing in the comments of the review.
Exactly.
Is this excusable because, he does in such a short time period, and he's clearly putting effort into them. And that's also what we wanted to kind of discern from this video, because we weren't sure if he was just, like, trying to put effort into them at all. No offense, but, like...
Yeah. He does put effort into the storyline, from what I can tell. It's just
right.
a matter of how much attention he pays to the animation, which I don't think it's a lot.
Right.
Especially from that statement alone. But
yeah, and especially when you're doing it on that short of a time period with one person, that can definitely be more of a challenge.
Yeah. It's also worth noting that he doesn't get any voice actors generally. It's mainly just him voicing everybody.
Right.
And I actually asked him later on. In fact, we could probably scroll down past where was it? I said, okay, so he's okay. Say your question here.
Well, I'm not sure.
We wanted to know more about his writing.
Right. So we were curious because, like, he voices everyone himself. So we were kind of like, wait, is that because of voice acting, or he just doesn't care? Like, I'm like, wouldn't it be easier if he just got all his voices done ahead of time? Because that was one of the criticisms of the Innocuous as well. That this was he voices everyone, and he doesn't necessarily put that much differentiation in his voice. And there are, like, a handful of characters at any one time in an episode. So I asked him, curious more about his writing process, because I'm like, week to week, isn't that kind of like, do you write episodes on a week-by-week basis, or all at once before you make a season, or, like, you have an outline or whatever? So he responds with something really interesting, actually. Yes. I create a large-scale season plan much before I start making any episodes, so, basically an outline. I gradually split the large story into more detailed segments and eventually into episodes, which actually we kind of do, right? With at least with this season, with this episode of the Batman series. I create an outline for each episode about 2 weeks ahead of time, which I didn't think he planned out that much ahead of time, and plan out necessary lines and plot points that need to be accomplished for each episode. So that left me kind of confused. That was kind of vague, that last end part. Like, just the I was like, wait, just the plot points and the necessary lines that you need? So I was wondering, like, wait, do you actually write a script for each episode? Mm-hmm. And he says, I script scenes that are very important to the plot of an arc season in advance and give myself more room for improvisation in less important scenes. This doesn't necessarily change the amount of time that goes into each line. It's just that for the first case, I write down and think through lines before shooting, and for the second case, I write down lines during shooting. And he says a little follow-up statement, I'm going to get destroyed because of that last point.
And he does... So
to summarize, he thinks out his videos ahead of time, clearly, and, like, what needs to happen in each episode. On an episode-by-episode basis, he'll plan it out ahead of time. Not all at once, which I found interesting, but he kind of, bases it off that outline. He has a direction he wants to go in, and he just kind of has to build an episode out of that. And
it's a bit odd when you're trying to, have a series.
Right. Yeah. From there, on an episode-by-episode basis, he writes down key plot points and lines for important scenes. But for less important scenes, he improvs it on the spot. So that scene. So at this point, we're kind of understanding why his videos are the way they are. At least I think, you know, these are very telling kind of things that are like, oh, you know, everything's kind of clicking together now.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You know, if you consider the dialogue to be poor, maybe, you could potentially attribute that to him just kind of like writing scenes on the spot. Even though he says the same amount of time is spent on each portion, I'm gonna call BS on that. In my personal opinion,
goes against what he said at the end of that paragraph. You know, that he puts the same amount of time into each line. That doesn't make any sense if what he said at the end of his second statement was true. You know.
So writing in that kind of style leaves some problems open. Obviously, you know, well, you can go ahead with the voice actor stuff.
Okay, so I said, in that case, do you prefer voicing the majority of the characters yourself, or is it just easier that way? He said it's normally easier that way, which I can understand that. I haven't exactly had a pleasant time in the past with organizing a responsible voice actor for my content. But it's something I'm looking to implement soon enough. I assume that's going to be, you know, when he starts upping his quality more over the summer, once he finishes season 3 of Ninjago, whatever. And then you asked him...
if I think, you know, I just kind of suggested in question form. I'm like, you think wouldn't it be easier if you just script out every episode ahead of the season and send them all to the voice actor at once so that you wouldn't have to worry about, you know, consistency? And then he says...
He said, are you two communicating outside of the chat? We both answer yes.
He says, that's one of the main things I'm planning on changing for the future. So... it's
full scripted season.
At least, you know, for the future, he's got the full scripted season. I don't know if he's still going to try and do the weekly release thing or the weekly production thing, but he's at least working in a direction that at least seems to be in a direction that would improve his content.
Yeah, he wants to improve overall.
Right. I mean, it's clear that he wants to. He's not just like some lazy bum that's milking it.
No. And it looks like he's trying to. Like he's thinking of ways he can do it as well.
Right. And he's even like I think he said for this next season he's doing like a completely original storyline, because up until now he's been basing it off whatever the cartoon does.
Yeah. I feel like that would be pretty difficult in itself as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, you know, that would help definitely if you're doing it all at once, ahead of time, doing something original, that would definitely make that easier.
Make it a lot easier. And then he said, and you have no idea how much easier that is going to be when my wait, did you read that part?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't think we have to.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Kind of covered that. That's kind of all we asked him, really. But
yeah. So knowing all of this, is it okay for him to be judged on the same scale for the kind of stuff that he does in such a short time period?
For me, it's kind of a yes and no, because I do think, you know, did the Innocuous Reviewer go overboard with some aspects of the video? Yes, definitely. I think that's not even a question at this point. But that doesn't mean that he's just inept to being, you know, judged for other things that a normal Burt film would be judged for, just because he does it in a shorter period of time, because he doesn't have to do them in a week. Like, you know, he's not confined to just a weekly upload schedule. He chooses to, like he said. You know, yeah, it is the fans that expect it of him, but as he said, you know, if he decided to make a change, they just have to get used to it. So if he wanted to change, then he could do it. It's just he chooses not to, from what I can tell.
Or at least, you know, up until now he has chosen
up until now,
not
no,
to.
he's definitely, he's going to, you know, make an effort to change, and I respect that of him. But the fact that it's taken this long, kind of, you know, it's, I don't know how I feel about that, you know?
Right.
How do you feel about it?
I want to bring up an interesting point. I don't know how far it's going to go, but I just thought of this.
Fair enough.
How do I word this? So you know, like Thack and stuff, you know, Brawl, where where you're supposed to make a brick film within a limited amount of time.
Yes.
would you consider that? Would you judge those on a different scale than you would something like Dan's videos? Because for me,
I wouldn't. I don't know. Wait, what were we saying?
Well, for me, because it's kind of tying back into exactly what you said. Since Dan chooses to do this kind of like weekly upload schedule thing, it's different because like these are like competitions, and that's the point of the competition.
It's a different thing. The competitions, yeah, I guess you would judge it differently because they are confined to a certain time period. Dan isn't. He just acts like he is. Right. That's what I feel about it. That's how I feel. But
it's just,
again, I have nothing against him as a person. I don't think he's lazy or anything.
Yeah.
I think he wants to focus more on the story overall, the arc, rather than all the details, which I disagree. I think he needs to focus on more than just that. But that's what he chooses to do, and I think that's kind of a poor choice in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm inclined to agree with you there because like, say what you want. Clearly it's the best way. Being an animator on YouTube is hard.
Just in general, like not even Lego animating.
Just in general.
Lego animating is probably the easiest thing to do.
It is actually, yeah, it is the easiest form of animation to be successful on YouTube with, especially when you're only one person.
Yeah.
But being YouTube favors nowadays. YouTube favors watch time, and when you're making animations, they're spread out, and you might just have really small chunks of uploads, and they, if they don't get that many views, that's what a lot of brick filmers have been struggling with for the past few years. A lot of people that have just gotten into brick filming, they're barely breaking 100 subscribers. Much less 1,000 subscribers, much less 10,000. Anything like that. They're finding it really difficult to get noticed because it's such a saturated market, brick filming. So
right. Yeah, I would say that.
And that's, just a little tangent. Whenever someone asks me like, what can I do to make my brick films better, or do you have any tips, I always say do something different, do something original. Just don't do what everything else does, because that's gonna make you stand out. Yeah. Because if you don't try something new, how do you know
you're gonna end up like all the
gonna work?
Yeah.
You might find
Akash copies, like you mentioned earlier. Don't try anything new.
You might be the next Akash, because Akash did his own thing, debatably. But
well, he started that kind of, and then debatably again, like you said, but and then more people followed.
Right.
But needless to say, regardless, he did start off with an original thing.
Right. And what I'm trying to get out here is it can be incredibly frustrating to be an animator on YouTube, especially when you're an adolescent, right?
Oh yeah.
In my personal experience, I've been at this for 6 years. Granted, I've only been animating for about 3.5-ish. But I'm true. And I don't necessarily have the best workflow or the best upload schedule, but I've had moments where I've been incredibly frustrated with the amount of progress I made on this website. And I find it incredibly empathetic and understanding to where, if you just get the minutes watched, and I don't think that's necessarily intentional in his case. I don't know how much he knows about, how the algorithm works. But if you're doing what he's doing and uploading frequently with, to a younger audience that really doesn't care about quality, at these larger, animation lengths, 6 minutes a week, and they're getting that's what's gonna grow you nowadays.
Exactly.
And that's what's gonna get you a base.
Unfortunately, with the following that most brick filmers have with kids, they prefer quantity over quality in most cases.
Right.
And that's, Dan's channel is a direct result from that. And you look at his track record.
And channels that tend to get popular are those that tend to have the more frequent uploads at a lower quality, at least initially. Maybe they'll evolve later on and raise their quality. Like, no offense, but like you know,
Yeah.
initially, nobody has great
when I started off, I was
videos. Nobody has great
actually
videos when they start out, right?
No. Mine are. I've had to privatize some of my videos, so the ones that I haven't privatized, ooh.
But you uploaded fairly frequently, like once every few weeks,
right?
And then that got you a base, and you got you strive to be
I tried
better.
to improve from that.
Yeah, and
I
you
hope
did.
I did.
You greatly improved, especially when you looking back
When
from here to like 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, what I did is, I got a following by uploading frequently, and then once I had enough money, I bought my own camera and bought Dragon Frame, and then I just kind of went from there with the quality, I guess.
And then
my channel continued
now that you had that base, that core audience of like a few like tens of thousand, a few 10,000, a dozen or 2,000 subscribers and followers, then you can get away with uploading less at a higher while also increasing the quality.
As long as you're still improving the quality consistently.
Right.
Yeah,
and this is interesting with people like, this is very evident with people like AKP, where he's starting out YouTube. Well, actually, we might actually have him on the podcast someday. And
he's
we could
one
actually
of the guests we'd like to get, along with Houston, and I believe Tom said he wanted to be on the show pretty soon here.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be great.
But like, from at least what I know about AKP, he started out brick filming, or at least when he started out his channel, he was already great, right? He was already an incredible animator who doesn't upload very frequently, but his uploads, when he does, they are incredibly high quality. But since he's just starting from scratch, he only has like 3,000 subscribers right now, even though his animation quality is incredible. Like, he has a James Bond video that is the craziest stuff you've ever some of the craziest stuff you've ever seen.
It's on the level with Keshin and Force.
It barely has like at this point it probably has less than 10,000 views, I think. I remember seeing it like back in 2014 or something, and it had like 2,000 views. I'm like, this guy's gonna blow up, and I mean, he really didn't. And
that's really depressing.
It's really depressing because he totally deserves it.
He's so good.
The only personally, I think the only reason he's even got the few thousand subscribers that he has at this point is he's partnered up with people like On Beat Man and Fancy Pants and a few other people that I can't name off the top of my head. But then he has a breakthrough video with Fancy Pants because Fancy Pants already has the base.
Yeah, Fancy Pants did what you said, like where he started off with horrible quality, gained a base, and then continued to get better from that, I guess.
And
that's kind of how he got there.
Well, I think Fancy Pants' case is different because he started back when views were valued over, watch time wasn't a thing that they quantified.
That's true. The algorithm was different back then.
So you could be good and get like a ton of views and then, go from there, Mm-hmm. And so and that's why Fancy Pants has like 2 really big hits, I'd say, in terms of like originally. He had the Force Unleashed video, which has like 10 million views almost, I think, and Clone Training Center, which has a similar number of views. And from there, you can build back in the day, you could build a very sizable base. And now that he has that base nowadays, and he came back to being more active in YouTube. He teamed up with AKP and made the Kylo Invader video, and that one has like almost 3 million views, I think, right around.
Yeah.
Because he already has that base. But personally, AKP doesn't have that base. So anyway, what I'm trying to like relay that back into is that it can be very tempting, at least from a views perspective, to see that like, okay, doing what I'm doing at this low quality clearly works. I'm getting a large fan base. He's got a huge, he's got like 1.2 million views a month and 2,000 subscribers a month. That's like 10 times what I get. So clearly it's working, right?
Something he's doing is working.
At least from an audience perspective. And so I can see why you might want to be hesitant, but he's honestly at the point where like doing what you did, where you can transition over, even if he does have that younger audience that can be more spiteful.
Mm-hmm. He can still do it. Like, he can still make the transition.
Right.
And and I think he's planning on it. He just hasn't done it yet.
You just got to ease into it.
And I can understand why, I guess. But I mean, my only question is why he's waited so long. If he's been around since 2007, why has he waited so long to do it?
Right.
And I guess it's just because he wanted to build the space up. But still, either way, I am glad to see that he's going to be changing his quality. He's going to be improving that, and that should definitely be good. But
yeah.
Ooh.
That was
What a topic.
That was quite the topic. Ooh, right.
Yeah, not everything we cover on here is going to be this serious or this
Right.
Analytical, but we just wanted to get this out of the way because somebody wanted us to talk about the Innocuous Reviewer, and we felt this needed to be brought up.
Yeah, and I think this is a good outlet for it because, talking about this kind of stuff in the community as a general, it's very
this show's for.
This
show's for anything,
it's very
really. I don't care what's on this show
in a way because I tweet about this stuff every once in a while, and a few people see it, but on this platform where we have more of an audience, it's nice to know more people are listening, I guess, at least from my point of view.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. But yeah, so that I think that covers that topic right there.
Q&A.
Should we check the what? Oh, should we check the questions?
Yeah, you want to check
comments?
Instagram and I'll do YouTube.
Yeah, I'll check in. I don't think we got a lot on YouTube.
We got a few, I think.
We got a couple, yeah.
Yeah, so like we said, you can if you want to send in questions for the next episode. Sorry, I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit.
That's fine. You've been talking quite
a bit. I've only been talking for an hour and a half straight. Whatever.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a longer episode, but that's fine. I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, like if you want to get an episode up, usually like a day after the episode comes out, we'll get a post on Instagram going where we're gonna have a thread of comments that you can submit. And
anytime
we can and you can also, of course, ask questions on the YouTube video itself for the last episode.
Yeah, or tweet us, whatever works.
Or tweet it, yeah, that works too.
Okay, so let's see. What about Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man: Homecoming, and Logan?
Please no. I don't care. I don't want to answer that question.
Trump.
I'm sorry.
No. I feel like we could probably do a separate video for Trump again. Separate episode.
Yeah.
Favorite food?
Wings.
Pussy. I mean.
Oh, wow, jeez. Whoa, this got a little PG-13.
Oh yeah, I just had to throw that one in there. We had the abortion in the last one. We had to make this one a little more edgy. We don't want to lose our edge.
I know you love Vine so much. Do you remember that one Vine of like the little kid with like the super high voice and he was like pussy? Have you seen that?
I don't, but I'd like to see it after we get off this call.
Whatever.
Not off this call once we stop recording. You know what I mean. Anyway.
Yeah.
What is life?
43.
43. There we go. Somebody commented Akash Jones. There we go. Talk about how Jonathan used to have a sexy lisp. I'm glad he added the used to. I'm trying to lose it. That's good.
I think you've done quite well.
Why, thank
in that respect.
That's good. That's good to hear. Let's see. Is it good? Is it a good thing or a bad thing that monogamy is slowly dying? We talked about this earlier this week. We don't know what you mean by this question. Monogamy is the marriage between two people.
Yeah.
Like what?
It's just it's being married.
Is that dying?
Being married with one person at a time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's what I meant.
I think he's talking about marriage in general because less people are getting married with millennials.
I know I mentioned how there are some SJWs, a very small minority of people that push the agenda that, they think that it's a symbol of the patriarchy to get married, but that's a very small minority of people that I wouldn't say that means monogamy is dying in any way.
I just think more people are thinking about what a lifelong commitment that is, because like divorce rates in the U.S. are 50%. So clearly they're seeing, this is the generation that are getting married now, that are of age getting married, the millennials. Their parents are the ones that are getting divorced half the time.
Yeah, and they see that, and they're like,
they're like, I don't want to be a part of that.
They're a little more reluctant to get married, I guess.
Right. And I'm a result.
I haven't seen any statistics that show that marriage is on the decline. I mean, I don't know, but
it is on the decline actually from like the 70s. Less people are getting married.
Well,
so is that a good thing? I guess people are considering stuff more.
View on marriage? I don't know.
Yeah, personally,
who cares?
I don't really care.
Do whatever you want. Like,
I'd like to have a girlfriend before I consider, the ethics of marriage and if you should get married or not or whatever.
Yeah,
so we'll get there when we cross that. That
when we cross that, when we burn that, we'll burn that bridge when we get there.
We'll burn that bridge when we get there.
Speaking of which, oh wait, here we go. What is your stance? Okay, this is a pretty wordy question, but what are we at right now? We're at almost 2 hours.
Who cares?
20 minutes. Do you want to just talk about it anyway?
Yeah, go for any. I mean, like my recording's at like 1 hour and 40, so yeah, go for it.
That's
we'll just make this a 2 hour episode podcast.
I don't care. Yeah, well, not every episode's gonna be this long, like we said in the first episode, but either way, he's asking, what is your stance on how America is right now? Very, shallow question, of course. He said, do you think it is proceeding in a positive or negative direction? Do you support the right or left, and how far right or left are you? And if you were old enough to vote in the 2016 election, who would you have voted for, and why? Well, from my perspective, it's a very broad question, but I don't think America's in a great spot right now. We're very divided, despite the chance of he will not divide us. I think, we're very divided racially, politically,
very divided politically. I think one of the biggest problems that's been plaguing the nation for the past few decades is just how partisan things always have to be.
Exactly. I think that's the biggest problem.
It always feels like a you're with us or you're against us kind of thing. And
it kind of goes with, yeah.
And it's pushed. It's clearly pushed people away from the broad, the farthest left and right you can go, and pushed a lot more people to be more moderate. And it's clearly, because like Trump has been elected. Trump represents change.
He does. Regardless of how you feel about him, he does want to change things.
Personally, I was like, on election night, and throughout the campaign, personally, I didn't want Trump to get elected. I didn't want Hillary or Trump to get elected. I hated both of them.
Right. I want to say, sorry, what were we saying?
But like when Trump did eventually get elected, which I actually kind of predicted, by the way, on Twitter.
I did not. I did not see it coming at all.
Like by the time I saw Michigan wasn't changing after like 2 hours of counting, I'm like, all right, he wins. Anyway.
I couldn't believe it.
I wanted, I initially, wanted to give him a chance, right as he got elected, because let's see him do something first. And I was also kind of excited, and I can understand why so many people voted for him, because they want something to change.
They're tired of
the bureaucracy, the BS in
Yes,
America.
they want an outsider, and Trump is definitely that. I mean,
no shit, man.
He is, he's definitely different. He is going to bring change, and that even turned on some liberals that didn't want the same kind of thing that you would be getting with Bernie. Hillary would have, regardless of how you feel about her, she would have been another 8 years of Obama. So whether or not you like that, she's Obama in a pantsuit, basically.
So politically, I just hate both sides.
Me too.
Like,
I know a lot of people probably think that I'm right wing from what I say on Twitter, but really that's not the case. I disagree and agree with a lot of what either side says. I guess I like to consider myself more a libertarian, kind of an independent. I always like to say I'm socially liberal, but like fiscally conservative. For the most part.
For the most part, I fall in a similar boat, but I just consider myself independent.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
It's just I would not have voted in this election. I cannot vote. And usually this would be a case where I'd be like, okay, I'm going to vote for the libertarian guy. Oh, but no,
he was
Gary Johnson.
He's Gary Johnson. Gary.
I don't even want to get in Gary Johnson. I don't want to talk about
though,
him.
if I was,
he's a dead man.
I mean, granted, you live in Texas, which is traditionally always gonna vote. Usually pretty core I mean, like you have places like Austin, right? That are
Texas.
More...
we got Austin, but like we almost turned blue this year. Apparently,
really,
it was very close.
How close? Do you know how close it was?
I don't know, but it was. I don't really have the numbers, but I know it was very. A lot of people were saying that they thought Texas could have swung the other direction, but we didn't. Of course, that may happen next time. I kind of feel like. I think now with Trump depending on what he does, he might be the last Republican president we have in a long time.
Yeah.
Because people are going to see, let's say he does a horrible job, which, I mean, it's looking that way. If it turns out to be like that, people are going to be like, well, we can't elect another Republican. This won't be good. And so they'll be quick to get the pendulum is going to swing directly in the opposite direction come 2020 if he does a poor job, which I think that's going to happen. I mean,
right.
I don't know. It's just all messed up. But
oh yeah. For the record, I live in Colorado, which is a swing state. Yeah. I would have voted for Gary Johnson for the lulz.
Why?
I hated Hillary.
I may have actually. I don't know.
I mean, personally,
I wouldn't.
I know he's not gonna win, but it's. In my opinion, voting for Gary is more of a protest vote in this situation than it would have been for the not voting at all. Just the way that I see it.
That's true. I guess that'd be okay if you hated either one, But
yeah. Oh yeah.
I know there were a lot of liberals who got criticized by their own side for voting for Gary Johnson,
right.
Just for a protest vote.
Yeah.
And now they're the ones feeling bad because Trump won. Whatever. Oh yeah, go ahead. No, I don't really know what I was gonna say. What were we saying?
Well, if we're gonna move on to the next question, I just we basically got one question that I think is good on the YouTube one, and someone asked, how long have you planned on making this channel / starting the podcast? The answer is I don't know.
Probably like a year, honestly. Not this one in particular, but I remember a year ago, last January, I was talking to you about starting a political themed podcast with me, you, and then my friend Gus Lemony Fresh, who voices Two-Face and Spider-Man for me. And that we never really got that one off the ground. It was gonna be called the Night Shift or whatever. I made the logo for it. That was about it. We couldn't really organize a time to record or anything like that, and it just never really happened. But we've always wanted to do a podcast. We've always wanted to do something kind of along these lines, together. Because we have calls all the time and we talk about certain things, and we're like, well, might as well record them and put them out to the public. And that's finally what we're doing. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but I think if people enjoy it, why stop now?
Right. Yeah. This podcast in particular, I think we thought about it I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 weeks before.
Yeah, not too long. We
first
thought about
episode.
it. We're okay, let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah, because we were
we didn't waste a lot of time. Probably sometime in February.
Yeah.
When we thought about it. We were in a call and we just happened to what did we start talking about? We were it just kind of got us thinking hey, there's really nobody in the brick film community that's done this yet. We might as well be the first.
Just kind of talk about whatever. Oh, by the way, ETR Films and Barbecue Brick Films, I think. They're starting a new podcast on April 2nd called...
I don't know what it's called.
I'm following them.
It's called We're Copying Blockheads. No, kidding.
It's called the Brick Film Panel.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear... No.
It's going to be more brick film based.
Yeah. So in all seriousness, let's support our fellow brick filmers.
Support
here.
our
Shout them out.
Australian buckos,
Yeah. Is Barbecue Brick Film also Aussie?
Yeah, I think so.
He's got the hat in his.
Yeah.
I
think he is actually.
But yeah, no.
I think he's mentioned before. But yeah.
If you want something that's kind of like this, and you like ETR or Barbecue Brick Film, and you want something maybe more brick film centric, even though we just spent this whole episode talking about brick films.
Yeah, this episode in particular. Most of the other episodes after this aren't going to be revolving around brick films, but still.
And also, if you if you also like more structure to your films, they're definitely gonna have way more than we have.
They're gonna have a structured show. One of the beauties about us is we do not care. We just we turn on the mic and we go. We start recording.
60 miles an hour.
Nobody knows what's gonna happen.
Yeah. So go check it out. Oh, also thanks Houston for the shout out on Blockheads. Even though you kind of trash talked us a little bit afterwards, but that's
okay. We just got to get him back in the next show. We got to trash talk.
What's his name? Hitchcock was trash talking us.
Hitchcock. Yeah.
What were you trying to do there?
I was trying to be like, You knew what I was trying to do there.
Continue with the questions.
Oh God. Okay. Anyway, let me go on. We got some other. This one isn't really a question. It's kind of a topic: religion and philosophy. I'm sure we'll get into religion later on in this podcast as this goes on.
There is no God.
I'm a well-known Scientologist myself, so I can't speak for Alex here, but
yeah. My for the long, it's like an ongoing joke between me and my normie friends. Freaking normies.
I assume those are your IRL friends.
Yeah. That for a while there, like 8th and 9th grade, that I was Islamic. because everyone that I knew as a kid was either like pretty Christian or Jewish. In my town,
really?
there wasn't. Yeah. So there
I've
wasn't
never known
any
a
like.
Jew. Besides Austin, he's
They're-
kind of like half Jewish.
There are quite a few high concentration of them here because I live in a resort town.
Oh.
So heyo. Okay.
Heyo, I see what you did there.
But yeah, no, because both sides are like, well, if you're not Christian or Jewish, you might as well, what are you, Islamic then?
Yeah.
And, I mean, they all know I'm atheist pretty much. I don't want to label it because like
skeptic.
Yeah,
That's what we
very
both are.
I'm very skeptical. I like to put it.
We're both
Neil,
skeptical.
I am similar to how Neil deGrasse Tyson puts it. He doesn't want to be associated with like all the, all
by
the
the definition, yes.
all the definitions and the stigmas that come with each name.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're Christian. Oh, well, you hate gay people then, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Because there are always
It's
these
just so
stereotypes
broad,
and stigmas and whatever.
So I'm sure we'll get into that with later.
Yeah.
Later on in different
Personally,
podcasts.
the closest thing I identify as, it sounds like I'm coming out, is agnostic.
We know you're gay. It's okay. Oh, okay.
I'm 98% sure there is no higher being, but if there
I
was a higher
completely
being, what's stopping them from erasing every shred of evidence?
We can get into this discussion later on. I'm
Yeah.
sure we could dedicate an entire show to it. In fact.
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyway, let's keep it. Let's keep it
I'm
moving.
quite involved with that kind of area, but we'll talk about that later on. Anyway, let's see. Will you two do any collabs or contests in the future? Collabs and contests are two different things.
Collabs.
I mean, we could do a contest sometime.
We technically collab on every one of
2015.
Jonathan. We technically collab on like almost every one of Jonathan's videos.
Yeah, every Batman video we do is a collab. I mean, I don't know. I try to make it as evident as possible that he does as much writing as I do, for the Batman episodes.
Yeah,
it's
you
kind
like
of our series.
Like in the Justice League versus
It's just on
Avengers,
my
you
channel.
plastered my name like 15 places.
I really tried, and like even
And I
people like
appreciate
I
that,
think it
thank
was
you.
FaZe who said like you didn't get enough credit. I'm like, okay, I tried, but whatever.
You try your best, but you
Try
don't
so
succeed.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, every Batman episode we do since my Christmas video from 2015, Alex has helped me write. It's so much easier to have you help, have you there as a co-writer because we can bounce ideas off of each other. We have very similar senses of humor that we can just write a script in a matter of hours if we need to, and we just work really well together. But
yeah, as for contests, maybe
I don't know.
Maybe we could host something for Blockheads, like
maybe we could do like a lot. When we start to get bigger, a Blockheads like art contest where they draw us. Like fan art, wouldn't that be great?
Like fan art on all the live streams, whereas people just in like their notes tab or whatever.
Yeah, people
like
can do that for
around.
us. It'd be fantastic. All right, let's see. Oh god, that's a pretty big question as well. Where'd it go? It's kind of towards the top. What do you think is the main thing DC needs to do to fix their cinematic universe or get it back on track?
We kind of talked about this last episode.
We did a little bit. I think they need to fire Hack Snyder. Get him.
He's
sure
a good
he's a
good cinematographer. He's just not a good director.
He's not a good director. Get him out of there. Do not even don't give him any attention. I think a lot of people think that the problem with DC movies is that they're too dark. That's definitely not the problem. You can have a good movie and have it be dark, like The Dark Knight. I think that was a very dark film, and it was
as
a lot of people
evident by
regard
the
it
title.
as one of the best movies of all time. And I wouldn't disagree with that. Maybe. I mean, it's a very well done film, especially for a superhero movie. Won an Oscar, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't know. There are just a few things they need to change. I don't know.
It's hard. I mean,
there's so many things.
They're trying too hard to play catch up with Marvel.
Yeah.
You know, they basically tried to do the entire Phase 1 in Batman v Superman, including Avengers.
Yeah.
Essentially. So, you know, and Justice League is supposed to be like their Phase 2 kind of thing. At least from my perspective, the way
I
think they're doing it.
Even though that would mean they've only had like 3 films in Phase 1, right? It'd be Man of Steel, BVS,
2.
Oh, Wonder Woman.
Two films, yeah.
And Suicide Squad.
Oh, well.
Right? That's 4.
Suicide Squad is kind of like, they're trying to be Guardians. And, you know, they're just stop trying to replicate the success of Marvel and try and do your own thing.
Exactly.
And also kind of like what I said earlier, just try and make a competent film before you try and do like all these deep character studies. Yeah, we said that in the first one.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
it's like they're just, oh god. It's such
anyway, that's the short version of it.
I don't know if they're ever gonna do that, but I mean, if they did, that'd be great.
We'll see. Justice League's gonna be garbage.
Justice League and Wonder Woman, I believe, will be garbage. Wonder Woman will not be as garbage, but it will be garbage. I'm okay with saying that. Anyway, let's see. What else do we got here? Thoughts on the drama with Iron Fist not being Asian?
I don't care. I'm so tired.
Whatever, who cares?
When you're so tired but you can't sleep. Stuck.
Yeah.
I requested. I'm on like episode 9 of Iron Fist, and he's supposed to be white, so
I don't care. You like cast him whatever you want.
Yeah.
I request that every time you guys transition to another topic, Jonathan does his lick noise.
What do you mean?
The problem with that is that you know, I think I may have mentioned this in the first one, but I'm doing that so often now to the point where my friend Adele does it even. It's pretty great. But
you've noted how your sister before like ironically dabs to like everything.
Yeah, she ironically dabs as well.
Do you do the slurping thing around her as well?
I do. Is she gonna
no. Pick up on that?
I don't really do. I do the slurping around Adele and you and people like that. I don't generally do it around Megan, but I guess I could.
Wait, your sister's name is Megan?
Yeah.
So you can legitimately say Megan all the time?
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Great. I've never done that really, but I mean, I guess I probably should.
Megan.
Wow. I've been wasting.
Does she call you
so
a
many
boob
opportunities
at any point in time?
No, she should though.
Oh, okay.
She's never really seen Drake and Josh. Is the thing. So she probably
these kids, man.
Kids, I know, kids these days with their current day Disney movies, which we can talk about later on as well. We're trying to wrap this one up. What?
Yeah. How old is your sister again? 15?
I don't know, fam. No, she's 13.
Oh, okay.
13?
That's younger than I thought.
I think so. No, wait, maybe she's turning 13. I don't know. I think it's 13. It's bad that I don't know this. I don't know her birthday. I don't know her middle name.
That's fine. Great 10 out of 10, brother.
Yeah, I'm great. Let's see. Animation tips for beginners.
No, I don't want to do that.
Specify more, and then we can talk. You know, lighting tips. Okay, I can answer that.
Do your own thing.
Not just.
Oh yeah. Lighting tips.
Do your own thing. Be original. Have Jonathan go more in depth for us with his adventurous stories about his classes that he tweets about.
One day, not today. We're
not
getting
today. Yeah, we need to start looking. Episode 3. We need to start looking at these questions like a lot more. You know, a lot earlier into the show.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just trying to answer all these quickly at the end. Let's see. Whomst is your favorite Lego minifigure?
Only because he said Whomst.
Trump?
Lego Poison Ivy from...
Oh, Poison Ivy. There we go. If we're talking about my favorite that I own, probably Lego Trump, the one that I made. I just like it. Or the one that... But if we're talking about the one Lego has come out with, then it'd definitely be the Lego Poison Ivy figure. That is just...
I mean, green is my favorite color, and it's just such like a rich emerald green.
Good figure.
I love it so much. Yeah, I need to get it at some point.
I think I'm gonna mention on Twitter that she's more attractive than half of the people that go to my school. So it's pretty remarkable. Yeah, let's take somebody back.
Oh yeah, you mentioned Adele earlier. We should mention that more than one person is named Adele.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and say throughout this show, Adele is one of my best friends. We're not. When I say Adele on this show, it's not meaning the Adele, like the singer. I have a friend named Adele. It's her middle name, and she just prefers to go by that instead. But she might be on the show sometime.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't know
that's
that.
her middle name. What if we brought her on the show?
That would be the first time I met her.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Hey.
People in the Accident Squad know her. She's technically in the Accident Squad. She's in the group call that we have.
She's like in the Accident Squad extended family.
Yeah, basically. Let's see. What are some of your favorite film directors? Tarantino. I like Hitchcock a lot.
Yeah, he's good.
What's his face? Kubrick, obviously.
George
I like
Lucas
Nolan.
in the 70s. Oh,
yeah, yeah. You gotta preface that.
Actually, George Lucas only directed A New Hope, and the other two were directed by other guys.
Yeah, that's not too surprising. Of course, he's still the executive producer.
I like J.J. Abrams.
Abrams is very good.
Super 8 was awesome. I love that movie.
Like I said, Christopher Nolan's good. I also like David Ayer. Yeah, he's very good. No, kidding.
Shane Black. Generally. David. Wait, who did Fury again? Was that David Ayer?
Was it? I don't know. I probably shouldn't be judging David Ayer too much. I've heard he's actually pretty good outside of Suicide Squad. It's just Suicide Squad was one of his biggest failures.
There was just I think there was a lot of studio interference.
I don't think he's like Zack Snyder, where everything he does is just a complete
and
utter pile of garbage.
Yeah, like the reason I'm mentioning Fury so much this episode is because I saw it
Just saw it.
Well, not just I saw it like a month ago, but I don't see.
Oh, I
too
saw
many
50
movies.
Shades of Grey with Adele last week. Oh yeah.
How did that go?
It was okay. It was a horrible film, but I mean, it was actually pretty enjoyable because we were able to make fun of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we kind of. The dialogue is just such trash. Like, I could probably look up some of the quotes, but it is so bad. Like, the acting is so bad. The scenes are so flat. Like, it's a horribly directed, horribly written film. Pretty boring, but it's fun to make fun of. That's about all I have to say about it. I'd like to see. We're gonna see 50 Shades Darker here pretty soon. She wants to see it in theaters. I don't know if we can get in or not, but because she's 16, I'm 17, so you know.
Oh well, you're 17. Yeah, you should be able to.
Yeah, but like, would I be able to take somebody?
Yeah, you can. That's
pretty sure. Yeah, that's what I was telling her,
Wait.
and she was like, "No, I don't think so." I'm like,
Wait, you might have to be 21 to accompany a younger.
Oh, maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
It's
like, we
depends
also.
on the
I feel like
theater,
I might know people. There are some people that I know that work at theaters. I'm sure they could probably get us in. But, or I could just pirate it. So who knows?
Yeah.
Either way, we're hopefully we're gonna be watching that or something else. We have like a list of movies we watch. And I'll let you know next time we record which film I've seen, over the course of this week. But
Edgar Wright's pretty cool as well.
Oh yeah, Edgar Wright.
Just want to throw that out there.
Throw that out there. Do you like Monty Python? I've never seen it.
I actually saw Monty
I don't
Python
get any of the
is
rest.
highly quotable.
Yeah.
I've seen Life of Brian, I think. No, not Life of Brian. Oh yeah, no, I saw Life of Brian, and actually just recently for last semester I had an ancient to medieval history class, and we watched Holy Grail.
Oh really?
The humor is just like so dry and so meta and referential that it's I love them. They're great. I haven't seen any of like their show or whatever, because I think they had a show, but
most people, I think most people just pay attention to the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've not seen anything anything along those lines, so I can't really say. But
really good,
I'd like
really,
to.
really funny movies. Man.
I've heard nothing but praise for it. Talk about your setups and how you get so many good ideas for your scripts. We kind of went over this in the first episode.
I have lights and a camera and a computer. Okay.
Yeah, like we said, we kind of we just think of one thing to maybe joke. We think for the Batman episodes at least, we think of something that's never been done, and then we do it.
Yeah, we try and do something.
Do it.
Do it. Just do it.
What happened to your mic? I can barely hear you.
Oh, that's because I probably destroyed my mic by getting so close to it. It'll equalize eventually.
All right. Faye's got some good suggestions. Just talk for the whole episode about Zach.
He's probably gonna listen to it.
Oh, it's okay. He doesn't follow us on anything, so.
Zach commented on the thing.
Wait, he did?
Yeah.
Where?
On the episode, I think. Maybe.
I don't think he did. I didn't see his comment.
He commented somewhere.
Maybe. Talk a bit about Pence. Not Trump. Trump is boring. Pence is where it's at. Pence is...
The memes.
Yeah, we'll get into Pence later.
Yeah, not today.
I know that's shocking to you.
Hey, wait, I'm not gay. What are you talking about? Can't elect.
Wait, you're not? Talk about Marvel TV shows. No.
No.
Spider-Man
Actually, okay.
and the Muslim midgets. I don't know what that's implying.
What? Okay. Continue.
That's a meme. Talk about Kite Man.
Hard to animate with, apparently.
What?
Hard to animate with, apparently.
He is hard to animate with. I think I talked.
Hard to get a voice actor, apparently.
Hard to get a voice actor, definitely. I will say that I have gone to. I've never gone to these links to get a certain person to voice act, but I'm determined. Okay, I will not be deterred. Let's see. How did you make Donald Trump? Well, I used Fred's hair from Scooby-Doo. I used Darth Sidious's face. And I used President Business's torso. So, there you go. It's pretty self-explanatory. Talk about the birds and the bees.
When a mommy brick filmer and a daddy brick filmer love each other very much.
Oh, now that'd be implying that there are female brick filmers in this community. Let's not be silly.
That's a very good point.
There's like Lego Girl Productions.
That was silly of me.
But the fact that her username has the word girl in it shows you how many, how rare it is to see a female in this community.
Brick Queen.
Let's see. The Dimensions cancellation rumor. Is Dimensions rumored to be canceled?
What?
Lego Dimensions.
Oh, is it? I thought it was doing pretty well.
I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I don't play the game. It's
I'm not a dweeb. I don't play it.
It's actually produced some pretty cool minifigures that we wouldn't have gotten in like regular Lego sets.
That's a good point. There's like Adventure Time and stuff.
And they have Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know Sammy Classic Sonic fan?
Oh, I know a little bit about Sonic. Sammy Classic Sonic fan. I think we've looked him up together actually.
He's quite the card.
Quite the character, yes. Is Optimus Prime Robot Jesus?
People love Transformers. I don't know why.
I don't know. Transformers is such trash. Drake's new album. No. Speaking of trash.
Hey-o.
And I hate Drake, honestly.
When's Eminem supposed to come out with his album?
That's what I want to know. Eminem is the good, where the good is at, you know?
Can you tell we're white?
He's my favorite. Well, that's the only reason I like Eminem. Let's be honest.
Of course, yeah.
Drake is one of them. I can't listen to that music.
Canadian. You're talking about Canadians, of course.
Yeah, that too. Come on.
Two.
What?
Two. Anyway.
Yeah. Someone said, "Come on, mate, do some voice acting for us." I don't know what that means.
Oi, laddie, I'm from jolly old London.
We should do it next episode. Do a bunch of impressions.
Ooh,
we gotta make a list of things we need to cover in the next one.
Just had St. Patty's Day yesterday. Oh, you hearty, got to look at the Irish in you.
Top of the morning, laddies! I can't do it.
Top of the morning, laddies, with your shillelagh. If Rob O'Dwyer listens to this, I'm so sorry.
He's not gonna.
I apologize. Please don't not voice act for me anymore.
What is he, Irish?
Yeah. Have you seen his channel? He's got like a whole. No. He's got a show called Rob's Ramblings.
Oh well, I'll go check.
He just had an episode about like Irish Marvel characters and stuff. It was pretty cool.
I'll check
anyway.
it out.
Shout out to Rob.
What other Lego movies do you think they should make? We talked about this before in a Skype call once. There's not really a lot more they can do.
Yeah, I don't think they should go with the individual superheroes route. I think that
they
outside
could
of
do
Batman,
they could do a Lego Avengers thing, but I don't think they need to. They can maybe do
because it's that Frederator. Oh yeah, because we were talking about it because of the Frederator video.
Yeah.
They suggested Deadpool, which is no, that's not a thing.
No, I think they just wanted to fill up a list. Or at least they use their video.
I don't think this needs to get much larger than it already is. Like you got Lego Movie, you got Batman and Ninjago.
Lego Harry Potter would have been a good film if that was relevant.
Yeah, if it was like 2000. I mean, they have Fantastic Beasts now.
What?
I mean, they have Fantastic Beasts now. It's kind of making a comeback.
A little bit.
That was a pretty big movie. That movie still made a lot of money, man.
It did. One of the word, I believe. You predicted that one.
Hey-o. Yep.
I'm trying to think. What else?
Best
They could maybe... I don't really know. I mean, maybe they could attempt a Lego Friends movie, but I don't know.
No.
I don't think that would do very well, unless they were, like, really self-aware and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what else they can do, honestly. They don't need to do that much. I don't want to, like, a whole extended universe kind of thing. I'm fine if they want to make, like, a little, what they have now, but I don't think they should milk too much of it, even though it's clearly making them tons
I agree.
of
They
money.
don't want to go... You don't want them to go overboard with movies or else.
Yeah, because right now they're at a quality where, like, people who are making them clearly care about them a lot.
Yes, exactly. And that's good.
I don't want to see that get dropped.
Exactly. I think the only one they have planned now is the Lego Ninjago movie and the Lego Movie 2. I think that's it.
Yeah.
For now. And maybe they'll do something later after that.
They'll probably round out the trilogy for Lego movies.
Oh yeah, they'll probably do a third one, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Which I'm totally fine with them doing. The first one was great. And then that looks like that's about it. Was there anything on the channel?
No, it's outside of the thing I did earlier. That's it.
See, most people, you can comment on the video, put some topics and stuff. Make sure to, leave. There's some guy DM'd me and asked me a question. What did he say? I gotta go check.
Ooh, let's see.
He said, question for Blockheads. Jonathan, are you ever going to do another comedy Star Wars episode? And it's kind of a question for you because if I ever did it, I would get you to help me write it. No, I mean, not right now. Not when Star Wars is... Right now, it's kind of irrelevant. After Rogue One, we're not going to really get another Star Wars film until December. And if I were to do a Star Wars, brick film, that would be when I would do it.
Yeah.
It would be around that time, either December, January. Somewhere around then, I might do another Lego Star Wars special. Or I might do just kind of a parody, maybe? I don't know, like a Lego Star Wars. I kind of had this idea a long time ago where it's like Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, Boba Fett, and Grand Moff Tarkin go on like a vacation together. And, hijinks ensue. But I don't really know anything besides that. Yeah,
hey,
that's really nothing.
If you're wondering about me, I still got that series in development that I'm gonna.
The Django and.
I think I'm gonna. I don't think I'm gonna do Boba and Jango Fett anymore. I'm gonna change it to just like 2 stormtroopers probably.
Okay.
Because having Boba and Jango, even though it kind of limits their characters a bit, but I have a series in development where it's gonna be Lego Star Wars kind of parody series, time traveling. Anyway, hijinks ensue. Yeah, so
that should be great. Yeah. I mean,
planning on doing
with
that.
2 stormtroopers, it should be more original as well. So.
Yeah, I hope I'm getting. I hope I'm getting an episode out by the end of the year. So.
Yeah. Ooh, sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some good Star Wars stuff coming up later. Down the road. Right now, we mainly just focused on the Batman series.
Yeah.
And then I might do a Ninjago parody when that movie comes out. I may do a Pirates of the Caribbean parody as well. I've thought about. And then I might do a Guardians of the Galaxy parody as well when we get closer to then. So we'll see. Some parodies and some Batman stuff coming up. So I think that pretty much wraps everything up.
All right. Well,
quite the episode.
Quite the 2 hours long.
Yeah, yours is still recording, right?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Gotcha. Anyway.
Classic Alex.
I mean, you can see you're in the same room as me.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, I'm on the other room, birthing my 5th child. So.
Oh, it's going quite quietly.
Yeah. The mic isn't on them right now. Should we? You want me to put the mic on them?
You just want to get like all the squelching sounds as they're popping out.
Yeah, all those sounds. That's what this entire episode. I've been over in the corner of this episode. Yeah, I'm holding the mic up. It's going along pretty well. She's unconscious right now. That's why she's not saying anything.
God damn it.
But well.
You gotta give them the
what you think we should name
life,
it. You know, that'll tell me how far into this episode you got. So that'd be great.
Yeah. Thanks
I think
everyone.
You got naming it Brick. We'll see.
Brick. God. Jesus. Let's name him Roderick in celebration of the wimpy kid.
We'll talk about that next time as well. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I think that's good. good point to end it. But
thanks for listening to the the flaming garbage truck that is Blockheads episode 2.
I mean Blockheads. That was an actual mistake. Blockheads. Yeah. Well, we'll see you next time.
Episode 2.
And subscribe to Akash Lego Productions. That's all I have to say.
Keemstar did nothing wrong. Bye.
Did nothing wrong.